Do you believe wholeheartedly that JayZ your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have had.
All the fraud on the court, if we just let that, just pass and not say anything about it, they would continue to do anything they want. It's not just with us, it's with people in the world. Like, a lot of fraud and a lot of collusion that's just been going on and just been looked over. Not pointing no fingers. I'm just asking everybody, all the judges or anybody who's working on the case, to do what's right and do their job the correct way. Even if you overlook something or didn't see something, everybody makes mistakes, as I said before. But it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it.
Did Beyonce really try to block JayZ's alleged son from going to court? Because that's exactly what's being said right now. A judge has officially allowed Rymir Satterthwaite's paternity case against JayZ to move forward, and Jay has until July 18th to respond.
So JayZ is back in the spotlight, and not for music this time. A judge just gave the green light for his alleged son Ramir to push forward with that paternity case, and now JayZ's been ordered to respond by July 18th. Yeah, it's getting real. Guess who's out here hyping the drama? Of course, 50 Cent. That man lives for this kind of heat. And it didn't stop there. Nicki Minaj slid into the mix too. She reposted 50's message on X and dropped a little shady comment. Is this why he was trending the other day? IDK. To God be the glory. People are eating this up. But wait, it gets juicier. Word is Beyonce might be quietly pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to stall the case. Just like Ramir's godmother mentioned before, Beyonce's allegedly been blocking this situation from moving forward.
We're saying that she's a big part of the problem for him, and some of the things that she was doing, a woman would not, she would have some sort of role in what her husband does. And if she was secure with herself and with the situation, not saying you gotta like it, she would help her husband handle it. Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Ramir needs to go away little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there with the song they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in through the back.
Now here's where things take a wild turn. Some reports claim the only reason this case is even being allowed to move ahead is because JayZ is allegedly tied to something shady, something involving a secretive scheme that ended up with him having a son. Yep, Ramir. People are whispering that JayZ has been dodging the legal smoke because deep down he knows the truth. That's what folks are saying. And here's what's strange. JayZ is known for shutting down lies and lawsuits quick. Remember when people accused him and Diddy of being involved in something disturbing with a 13-year-old? He clapped back fast and cleared his name, but now he's staying silent when it comes to Ramir. That silence is making the rumors even louder. This case just keeps getting wilder by the day.
I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling him JayZ. And I really didn't know who that was because I was young, and, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know what it is. This person is your father. I have enough information to keep the case going, so it was a big case to me because, I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it. I really thought it was going to go different than what it was, but I really feel like it should have been over with because, I feel like if it was anybody else, I'm not saying this because people got higher standards or people make more money than that, but it's just different because, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have had them in there way faster than people that's wealthy.
So many twists, let's dive right in. Word on the street is JayZ and his legal team have been scrambling behind the scenes, doing everything they can to keep Ramir's paternity case buried. But that might not work for much longer. Ramir could finally be getting that DNA test he's been asking for. Yep, according to official reports, the judge has ruled in favor of the case moving forward.
Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before, but it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct, because you cannot use fraud to continue anything in this world. You can't use fraud to help you get forward in life. Then, you know, try to continue on your fraud, or continue using fraud to get forward in life, and of course just let you do that. That's unconstitutional, and I think we should really be looking to fix that problem.
And guess what? I actually got my hands on the court documents. Here's what the paperwork said. Respond to the latest filing by Lily Coley versus Sean Corey Carter. For the foregoing reasons, the court grants the ex parte application and orders that defendant's deadline to respond to plaintiff's complaints be extended to July 18th, 2025. It is so ordered. That's direct from the court, so it's not just rumors anymore. Now here's where it gets deep. Ramir's been holding on to this story for years. According to him, his mom, Wanda, had a one-night thing with JayZ back in 1992 at his aunt's spot in Brooklyn. Jay allegedly picked her up from Philly. They hooked up, used protection, but it failed, and boom, she got pregnant. Wanda said she only saw Jay one more time, 2 weeks later, and after that, he vanished. She didn't know how to find him again. Ramir says he was around 8 years old when his mom sat him down and told him she believed JayZ was his real dad. Before that, her live-in boyfriend, Robert Graves, was listed on the birth certificate. But here's the kicker. He was removed in 2011 after a DNA test showed he wasn't the father. That's when things really started to heat up. Now everyone's watching to see what JayZ does next. Wanda told Ramir straight up she had only been with two men, Robert and JayZ. So once Robert got ruled out by the DNA test, boom, it only pointed to one possibility. JayZ. But here's the part that's got people really talking. JayZ has reportedly been avoiding the paternity test because when the alleged hookup happened, Wanda was just 16 and he was 22. If that's true, it could mean there's a whole lot more at risk here, legally speaking. Wanda's godmother even backed this up. She once said, "I got a call from his in-house lawyer and they were very helpful and we thought we would resolve this privately." They even talked about Ram's music talent and whether it was a good time to put him on his record label, but he had to finish high school, so I said no. Suddenly, different lawyers got involved and their attitude completely changed. I think they realized there was more at stake for Sean, given that Wanda was not of age child. That's some serious stuff right there. And it gets even messier. If JayZ is confirmed as the father, it could also open up a whole new legal issue, because it would mean he allegedly took a 16-year-old Wanda across state lines from Philly to Brooklyn, and that's where they reportedly had sex. That alone could trigger an entirely different investigation. Now, Wanda didn't just let it go back in the day. She actually tried to hold JayZ accountable. She filed a civil lawsuit to get child support from him. But get this, the case was thrown out, not because of the claims, but because it was filed in the wrong state. And after that, it was never refiled, just vanished into the system until now. JayZ's lawyer once said that Jay wasn't an interested party when it came to custody of Ramir. So just like that, Wanda couldn't keep fighting the case. But Ramir, he wasn't letting it go. He picked up the battle himself and kept pushing forward. But it wasn't easy. Ramir said he got played by the system. According to him, the reason things kept falling apart in court was because JayZ was allegedly throwing money around, paying off lawyers and judges to bury the whole situation.
Rap mogul JayZ is being taken to court by Rymir Satterthwaite, who claims to be his abandoned son. The case is not a simple paternity claim. It has been going on for over a decade and involves a complicated web of relationships. Rymir's mother, Wanda, claimed she had a sexual encounter with JayZ when she was just 16 years old.
It's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, this collusion. Who knows what it's for? Money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong but coming here, tell you guys the truth, put our life on them.
That's why Ramir said he had to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. At first, though, the Supreme Court tossed the case out. They said they didn't have the authority to dig into past appeals or unseal old trial court records. But Ramir didn't stop. He refiled it with the appellate division of the New Jersey Superior Court instead. Still, every step has been a fight. JayZ's legal team came back with more pushback. They argued that Jay couldn't be forced to take a DNA test in New Jersey because he didn't own property or live in the state. And based on that loophole, Ramir had no legal way to make JayZ take the test. But then, plot twist, Ramir came through with receipts. He posted a screenshot showing Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, admitted in her own book that JayZ did have property in New Jersey at the time. Boom! So that whole excuse just fell apart. Now, with the judge finally letting the case move forward, everything could change. People are rallying behind Ramir like never before, and stars like 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj are shining a major spotlight on his story. This time, the truth might actually come out. And let me tell you, Nicki Minaj is not playing when it comes to JayZ. She's been coming hard, no filter, no breaks. After reposting an explosive interview with Dre Hadley, the estranged daughter of Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, Nicki went all in. In that interview, Dre dropped bombshells, claiming Roc Nation had her committed to a mental institution. And she's suing her own mother over it. But that's not all. Dre said Roc Nation has been moving behind the scenes to silence Nicki, mess with her career, and even come after her family. She said they've attacked her husband, they've attacked her child, and warned that this should scare the American public. This isn't just industry beef, it's deep. Nicki didn't stop there. She's been speaking out loud and clear, suggesting that she's been professionally sabotaged by JayZ and his inner circle. She claimed that's the real reason she hasn't been dropping music like she used to. According to Nicki, someone's been trying to wreck her marriage too. She said there's been shady moves and friends in high places spreading lies to turn Kenneth Petty against her. And it gets even messier. Nicki says her social media accounts and even her fans' pages are being shadow banned. She called it a clear move to hurt her brand. But one of the boldest things she said, that JayZ still owes her money. She's pulling receipts and applying pressure, and now she's jumped right into Ramir's situation too. Nicki is using her platform to keep the heat on JayZ, saying he needs to stop ducking and finally take that paternity test. And judging by how things are going, that might actually happen. Ramir could finally get the closure he's been chasing for years. But while a lot of people are standing with Ramir, there are still folks questioning his motives. Is he doing all this just to get paid? Or is he really just trying to find out the truth about his father? What's his true goal here? That's the question everyone's asking. According to what Ramir just revealed, this whole situation isn't about trying to get JayZ to be some long-lost father figure or magically make up for lost time. He says it's deeper than that. This case is really about corruption in the court system, judges who didn't give his family fair due process, and shady court orders that left them losing money and fighting for justice. Ramir said those same bogus court orders are still being used to collect money, and even worse, illegal liens were slapped on their home because of it. And he's been clear, he's not after a payout from JayZ. What he wants is honesty. Ramir said, "I don't want money or anything like that from JayZ. I just want him to finally tell the truth to the world. If you say I'm not your son and nothing ever happened with my mom, then just take the test." Simple as that. He's been asking, if JayZ's really got nothing to hide, why is no always the first answer when someone mentions a DNA test? And Ramir's also got a list of serious concerns that he wants the world to know about. First, he claims JayZ took Wanda across state lines when she was just 16 from Philly to Brooklyn, where they allegedly hooked up. Second, JayZ's lawyers told the court something that Ramir says wasn't just a mistake, but a straight-up lie. Third, Jay's team denied everything in court, but Ramir says they were actually trying to handle it privately before all this exploded. And then there's the fourth and most alarming claim. Ramir says that after he filed a civil suit, someone came after him. He says shots were fired at him and someone even tried to frame him. He posted photos of his car all busted up, claiming it had been tampered with and that he was pulled over right after, like it was all part of some setup. This kind of intimidation, it sounds a lot like what Dre Hadley said she faced from her own mother, Desiree Perez, Roc Nation's CEO. The connections here are wild. It's all starting to look like a serious pattern. Now here's where things really start to spiral, because Rymir isn't the only one saying he's been targeted. More people are coming out of the shadows. saying they faced the same kind of shady treatment when they crossed paths with JayZ or Roc Nation. It's like every time someone pushes too close to the truth, strange things start happening. People online are now comparing Rymir's story to other public figures who've tried to speak out against powerful industry players, only to suddenly disappear from the spotlight or end up with their reputations destroyed. It's giving cover-up vibes. Rymir's claims of being stalked, targeted, and nearly harmed aren't being brushed off like they used to. Now folks are listening and questioning why this has been ignored for so long. Even legal experts have started to weigh in on this. Some say the case has been mishandled from day one, with too many procedural blocks, delays, and quiet settlements. One source even hinted that certain judges might have been influenced behind the scenes. If that's true, then we're looking at way more than a paternity case. This could be a full-blown legal scandal. And let's not forget, Ramir's been trying to tell this story for over a decade. It's not some overnight publicity stunt. The man's been pushing through legal brick walls, getting doors slammed in his face, and still hasn't backed down. That kind of persistence, it's got people finally taking him seriously. Meanwhile, social media is going wild with theories. Some believe JayZ's silence says it all. Others think he's protecting his empire at all costs, even if that means never addressing Rymir head-on. But with big names like Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent jumping in, the pressure's boiling over. This isn't just about DNA anymore. It's about power, truth, and whether someone can take on one of the biggest names in the game and actually win. Woo, honey, this tea is piping hot. And one thing's for sure, things are boiling real nicely right now. The court's already told JayZ he's got to respond, and the clock is ticking. All eyes are on him. Will he finally step up and take that test, or is he gonna keep dodging while the pressure builds? Rymir's not backing down, the internet is buzzing, and celebrities are now chiming in loud and clear. From the shady court battles to the wild intimidation claims, this story has spiraled way beyond a simple paternity question. It's turning into one of the most explosive celebrity legal sagas we've seen in a long time. So now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think JayZ will finally break his silence? Or will this battle keep dragging on with more secrets still waiting to spill? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay locked in, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. And don't go anywhere. Click that next video you see right here on the screen for even more wild celebrity drama. We've got receipts, scandals, and stories the mainstream won't touch. See you on the next one.